Well, they did it. The one day that I worked this week, they put out the Alisa trailer, so I'm a day late to watching it. The one time. They've had Shaheen, they've had Kuma, they had no character, and then they had fucking Panda. I can't say that word on YouTube. God damn it. They had all of those characters on Wednesdays, and then they just a random Thursday, they, oh, let's put out the Alisa trailer. Actually, it was Friday, wasn't? No, it was a random Friday. Whatever. Anyway, who cares? We're here now. I'm a day late because of that. I'm gonna have to work overtime to get this out on YouTube today. But hello, I've already seen Alisa's moveset. Link to that will be in the description if you're watching on YouTube. If you're here watching on Twitch, go to my YouTube channel and find it because I can't be bothered. I'm super excited for this. I haven't seen her in motion though. That's the thing that I'm really excited for with this trailer, even though I know her move list. I haven't seen her in motion at all because not a single person at the influencer event thing played Alisa. But anyway, if you want a more in-depth explanation as to what my thoughts are on Alisa and Tekken 8, go watch that video where I go through a move list. For this, we'll go through whatever happens in the trailer, but I won't get too much into it. I'm just going to be excited. What's the time? I'm so excited. The game comes out in less than 2 weeks. I get to play this character in less than 2 weeks. I've been waiting a year for this. I've been waiting over a year for this damn trailer. Why is she one of the last characters revealed? Destroying Automaton? Good enough for me. And they didn't change her voice as well. I mean, of course they didn't. But thank God they didn't change her voice. Sidestep 4, yeah. Wait, is that not punishable anymore? Wait a second. Down 2-3 isn't punishable anymore? What the fuck? I love the pose on that move. Back forward 4. I love all of the explosions that are happening with this. This is great. We've seen this intro before, but this is such a good intro. Jack's expression there. I wanted to see Jack's expression without the goggles. You can definitely get multiple jabs there, right? Wait, you don't have to go into the DES out of counter hit there? I didn't know that from looking at the move list. That's a lot of chip damage. Heat dash there. That's a new thing we've seen from this stage. Have we actually seen this stage in a trailer before? I don't think we have. It's so appropriate, though, to have the two androids fighting on the moon. This is... Listen. This might be... possibly... They have her old Tekken 6 outro back. They have her old Tekken 6 outro where she says see you. Well, she says see you tomorrow instead of next week. But whatever. That's so good. That's oh man. Yeah, what I was saying with the Rage Art is that they had that Rage Art I saw that Rage Art before, and it's simultaneously, I think, one of the worst, but also one of the funniest Rage Arts in the entire game. So I think the funny factor makes up for it. Anyway, let's go back through this. There were a couple of things that were new here because, again, since we haven't seen any actual gameplay footage, I haven't seen, like, down 2-3 on block is safe. What the fuck? So yeah, let's go back through this and take a look. I also think the volume was a tad bit loud, so I'm sorry about that on the trailer front. Can't really fix that in post, but hey. Yeah, let's go back through it a little bit. Okay, so... immediately here she does sidestep 4, right? And it looks like this is counter hit. Now sidestep 4 is normally like -1 on hit, right? Something like that. So I don't want to get too much into it if it's still minus on hit or not, but I'm just trying to see, and it looks like it's 0. So I think it's about the same as it was before. I think the sidestep 4 is also the same speed, so it's reactable, but you still have the mid follow up, so it doesn't really matter that much. It really depends on if the mid follow-up is still -10 or not. But then, yeah, here we go. Down 2-4, not down 2-3. I'm scatterbrained right now. I'm tired, okay? I know, like, okay, Seth, is this a bit because you get every move wrong on every character trailer? It's not, I'm just genuinely that stupid. It's my own damn character and I'm still doing that. Anyway, yeah, down 2-4 is safe, which is crazy, and they're showing that here, is that the move is safe, which is really good because the move still knocks down on normal hit. It's slow, but it's a fairly long reaching move. She can go into DES off of it. I can't imagine it's not -9, because with her being able to go into DES and then evade after it, if it was like -6, that would be kind of crazy. But this looks like it's -9 because she's still recovering up until the move gets blocked. But yeah, the fact that it's safe is a really good buff. And they did that with quite a few of her moves as well, like Daisy Chain, down back 2-2, making that natural and presumably safe as well, instead of -12, but getting rid of the nosebleed stun. They've been doing a lot to kind of clean up the moves that Alisa had that weren't really functional, except for like 2, 3, 4, which is good because Alisa, in Tekken 7 at least, pretty much all of her moves are usable. She's a character with a very big move list and multiple stances. She has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 stances. Like, if you think of like down 3 plus 4, maybe 6, but I wouldn't count that. But like 5 stances, somewhere around there. One of the highest move lists in the game, and almost every move is usable. But there were a couple moves, like again, down 2-4 and down back 2-2, that weren't really useful. So changing those moves to make them more usable like this is really nice, and it's something that not every character got. Generally, they've tried doing this with most characters, but not every character is like this. So it's cool to see. So, you know, the other weird thing too, thinking about it, is that every character so far, except for maybe one, like maybe the bear, but I think that they were trying to show off the new move in Sit. Every character so far, the first move that they've done is a new move. Sidestep 4 is not a new move. It's not a new move, and down 2-4 isn't new either. The only new thing about it is that it's safe. Oh, I guess it's because of the 2-2, the new punish, right? I guess that's what they're trying to show off. But really, it doesn't matter. I mean, it kind of matters, because the difference between this and 2-4 is like 1, the knockback distance, and 2, the angle, because 2-4 would angle them slightly this way, but 2-2 just knocks them straight back. So it means that Alisa, if she's slightly off axis to the wall, if she's like, if she's not perpendicular to the wall, it's going to give her a side wall splat, whereas with 2-4 it would give her a more straight on wall splat. But that's semantics. It doesn't really matter. It's just 2-4. It's a 12-frame punish, but reanimated and different. I think it looks good. Again, I like the more explosion-y stuff that she has going on. More stuff of like shooting her arms and using her head and that kind of unique thing. Personally, I like it. I like that they're going more all in with this concept instead of having it just be like a couple of things that she does. Oh, like she brings out the chainsaws, now she has chainsaws, and sometimes she shoots out her arm. And because they could have gone 2 routes with it, which I would have both liked. They could have gone down the route of making it fewer moves, so it's more of a unexpected thing, like how you see in like Tekken Rebellion with Xiao Yu, how Xiao Yu starts fighting Alisa, and all of a sudden Alisa pulls out chainsaws. She's like, what the fuck, how do you have chainsaws in your arms? Or they could have gone down this route, and I like both of them, but I do like this route. Okay, yeah, so running 2 here into DES. So running 2 seems like it's about as plus as before, right? And then, yeah, the DES forward 1 is, I'm assuming it's not guaranteed here, that it's not plus 12 on block. Oh yeah, I mean, you can see the little counter hit mark here. I said this in the move list breakdown, but I'm gonna say it again. I think it's really funny how they censored the chainsaws for Korea and just made that everything. But at the same time, you can also interpret it as it being her lore, and she doesn't like want to kill anyone with the chainsaws, so the stun saws. And if that's the lore explanation, it would be so funny, but it would also make sense. The thing is, though, doing 4, well, whatever. It's I'm not going to nitpick. It's forward 1, whatever. Well, I guess I am going to nitpick. Yeah, running 2 going into DES is insane. I think it's actually a bad decision on their part to make this something that you can do, because giving her access to DES off of a move like, well, then again, with sidestep being so much better, maybe you can't just throw out forward or running 2 like you can in Tekken 7. So maybe it does make that a little bit more balanced. I don't know, but you still have running 3-4. I don't know. I think being able to go into DES like this is really stupid though, regardless, because it means that you just get a brain dead mix up off of this, and you don't do, unless they've changed the plus frames on this. Yeah, I mean, you can see Laws attacking there, because I'm pretty sure that running 2, I get confused with backup 1. It's +4, +6. Maybe if it is +4, it would be fine, because that means that you can't do DES 1 afterwards, or you would get counter hit, or you would get jabbed out of it. So maybe they don't just have to eat the mix up. It really depends. Like, the way that this looks makes it look like it's +8. And this was her new tactics, and it worked on block before as well. And on block, what this would do at the wall is it would make her so plus she could go in the backup, and then she would go in the backup, and you could either do the rising knee, or you could do the 1 to get more plus frames, or you could stop it, go in the crouch, and then do it from crouch mix up, because it was just that plus. Because if they tried hitting a button, then you just got backup 1, and then you got the wall splat. And it looks like it's more or less the same here when you go into DES, but I don't know. It depends. If the running 2 is +4 on block, then I think it would be fine. If it's like +6 or +8, like it kind of looks like here, that's too much. Because then you just get the 1 or the forward 1 +2 and the down 1, or now her new down 2, just as a 50-50 mix-up if this gets blocked, which is insane. It would be the best running 2 in the game, bar none. She wouldn't even have to work for it. So I don't know. I'm of 2 minds on this. It really depends. But the good thing is that if it's too much, they can fix it. Yeah, and then she has the house sweep out of here as well, which, oh man, there are actually a couple of things here that are, like, important here. So, 1, the knockback on DES forward 1 is more now. So, the problem with this with Alisa is that at this range, she can't do another forward 1. So, the opponent can just backdash here and get out of it, which is, really bad. But Alisa now can forward dash in DES, and that kind of makes up for it. But at the same time, if she forward dashes and the opponent does like anything, then she gets put out of DES. So it's not a great solution. And it's, from what I can tell, it's like a 2D fighting game forward dash where it has recovery on it. So it's not great. This is actually pretty rough for Alisa, that this has a lot more knockback. It makes DES significantly worse. I would even argue that the forward 1 might be better on block than on hit, just because of this knockback. And that might be a crazy notion. It also depends on the knockback on it on block, if they've changed that. But assuming the knockback on block hasn't changed, and I think forward 1 would actually be better on block than on hit because of the knockback here. Because nothing reaches. That's the problem. At this distance, at this distance here, nothing with Alisa and DES reaches. Like, at this point, if the opponent was to backdash once, Alisa would have to go out of DES normally in Tekken 7. And even here, when she goes into DES, actually the stop on this is faster, isn't it? So I guess that doesn't really matter here. Yeah, so I guess because the startup on dual boot is faster, because I was about to say normally going into dual boot is so slow the opponent could just start sidewalking, but maybe actually you could just do dual boot from here and then 1, and they couldn't react to it, and they couldn't sidewalk it. So that might actually be fine. Yeah, so moving on. So the house sweep that she has in dual boot, you have to remember is that this requires a lot of setup, right? This isn't just a generic house sweep. You have to be in 2 stances. You have to be in DES, and you have to go into dual boot. And presumably, it's also going to be launch punishable. It could also be not launch punishable in like -12, in which case that's a whole nother thing. But it requires a whole setup. And if it was like -12, then it would just make dual boot 3 completely useless. So it doesn't make sense that wouldn't be launch punishable. So the thing is that there's still going to be a place for 3 here, because you have to remember in this situation, if Laws, yeah, you can actually see Laws backdashing here, which is interesting. But if Laws, instead of backdashing here, tries to do like a jab or something, and Alisa does dual boot 3, then it counter hit launches. So there's still place for dual boot 3 even with Lisa having a hell sweep out here. It's going to be very situational, and it's going to be matchup dependent as well, because if you have a character like Kazuya, for instance, that can just launch the dual boot 3 or Raven or whoever, I mean, it was good for what it was because it gave her a low, of course, but considering the risk that came with it, it was always tough using it, and you had to use it sparingly. But now when you have the hell sweep in those matchups, oh yeah, just use the hell sweep, right? So it helps with those kind of matchups as well, but it doesn't mean that this is going to be the god move. It's going to be situational, right? It's going to be matchup dependent, situational, depending on conditioning. There's uses between both the dual boot 3 and the hell sweep. So, you know, and again, you have to do it in 2 stances. You have to do it in destruction stance and then go in the boot in destruction stance to be able to do it. So it's locked behind 2 stances. So it's not like she just gets it for free. It's not like a Mishima hell sweep or like what Lei or Bob has or whoever. So it's a different thing. I'm a notorious hater for hell sweeps, but I like this change. I think it makes a lot of sense. But it also depends on the framed out, right? Because if it's like, if it ends up being -12, if it ends up being one of those where you have to like a bow and arrow type of move, it's stupid. So, but again, even if it's stupid, they can fix it. So yeah, so that obviously isn't the combo, but we get this new move out of dual boot. And look at this pose. I mean, there's a reason why this pose is the thumbnail right now. Actually, it might not be the thumbnail because her face looks fucked up because it's so far away. I'm going to do my damnedest to make this the thumbnail, but her face actually looks kind of fucked up here. Fuck. Okay, there was a reason I was planning on making this the thumbnail, but I love this pose. I love when they have poses like that. So let's go through this a little bit. Yeah, so one thing that's really important here is her being able to do this arm move out of crouching is crazy. So one thing that I do in Tekken 7 is I have easy inputs on when I play Alisa. And the reason why is because you can do Alisa's back forward 2 armor move, this one, with the assist while holding back. So instead of doing back forward 2, you can hold back and hit the assist button and 4, and you'll do her armor move while blocking. So you don't have to hit forward. Already makes this move insane. Incredibly underrated. The biggest problem with it was having to hit forward. So it means that you have a frame of neutral where you can get hit, a frame of forward where you can get hit, and then the armor move startup, right? While you're holding back, there have been quite a few times where I've been holding back, I've done the armor move, and I've blocked something while doing the startup of the armor move, and it only works because I'm using the assist. So the point here is that they changed the input to be up back 2 from back forward 2, which is insane. Because not only does it mean that she can do this arm move from crouch, which is crazy, but it also means that she can do the move while holding back like I just described, which makes this move 10 times more powerful. Even if all of the frame data on it stays the same, this move is insane. Because it's like -2 or -4 or something on block. So even if the opponent blocks it, Alisa can still sidestep. And of course, it wall splats and does all of the other things that stupid high armor moves do, but she can do it from crouching and while blocking. It's not like Asuka where she has to press forward and then do it. She can just do it while holding back. It's crazy. So then she goes in the backup, and then she has like the old unblockable. You can do the proper unblockable, and it has the unblockable hit spot, which is interesting. Does that for tailspin, right? And then forward 2-3-3 for the wall under. Not the wall under I would go for personally, but you know. This is such a good intro. And again, I love that you have the 2 androids fighting on the moon. It's so funny. Yeah, so genetic snake hedge. So Yeah, 2-3-3 here doesn't tailspin anymore, but they've turned it into combo filler. So you do that, and I'm sure you could get a second dash jab here and then do back 4-4 or forward 4-2-3 or something for wall conversion. So that's pretty interesting that you can do that. You have that kind of combo and then heat smash, yeah. And then forward 4. So that move seems like it's about the same as it was before. But an interesting thing, and I won't get too much into it because, again, if you want to know more about like what I'm thinking about the character, check out the move list video in the description. But yeah, forward 4 now, if you just do it by itself, can go in the DES, which I personally think is going to make forward 4 the go-to homing move. Because what you can do with it now, like, well, what you could do with it in Tekken 7 was if you were doing like running 2 or running 3-4, the opponent can obviously sidewalk both moves left. It's just an option select. If you think that Alisa is going to do either one, you don't have to guess if she's going to do the high or the mid. You can just sidewalk left. But she doesn't have a running 4 move. So what you could do to catch the opponent if you're running at them is running 4. If you got a hard read, you could do running 4-1-4. Obviously, the risk is that the second hit's high so they can launch it. But you could just do the running 4 and catch them stepping, which by itself was okay in some situations, especially if you had a hard read that they would just go in the sidewalk for the rest of their life because they thought that you were going to do a running move, so, you know. But the fact that you can do forward 4 into DES makes that much more powerful. It means that sidewalking left against those two isn't an option select anymore, because now, even if they block the forward 4, when she's in DES, she just gets to keep going. Then if you try attacking back, then she has the 1-4 follow-up to hit you. Then she can also just do nothing because forward 4 is safe. It's a very, very, very strong tool that she has, being able to go in the DES off of that. Yeah, so this is interesting. So, I don't remember the frame data on this, but forward 1+2 now doesn't launch, and you only get the DES here on counter hit, but you can actually choose to not go in DES. And then, I don't remember what the frames were for this on counter hit, but it seems that the 13 frame move here is guaranteed after forward 1+2 on counter hit, that makes that really good. The thing is that you're still going to be wanting to do back 4 a lot of the time with 4, and it depends on the frame data of the move on block, but if that's safe now instead of launch punishable, oh my god. The heat smash there is so funny and so stupid. It's not one of those that's one of the worst in the game, but also so funny it makes up for it. So 1+2, here's a new heat engager, right? So the thing is, she can go into dual boot here while she's in the heat if she's not in DES. This is completely useless. I'm just going to throw that out there for all of you. Her being able to go in the dual boot here is completely useless. I did see after seeing her move list again briefly that she gets armor when she does down 1+2 to go in the DES. I don't remember if she gets armor here, but either way, the startup is so fucking long that you can just start sidewalking anyway. And even regardless of that, the amount of heat you have to use to be able to do this is not worth it. If you're a decent Alisa player, you'd rather just manually transition in the DES at some point anyway. You have moves like forward 4, forward 2, like from crouch down forward 1+2. There's absolutely no reason to do this. And the moves that you get in DES or dual boot, even now, just aren't good enough. It's better to just go into normal boot and do 2 or 3. Genuinely. It does basically the same thing. It's just not worth it. Yeah, you get the extra chip damage, but it's not worth using the heat on. It's just not. But the chip damage on that, though, is crazy. Yeah, and then like, they show Jack sidewalking here, but that's normal. The thing is with Alisa in boot, why is there a 9 here? Anyway, the thing is with Alisa in dual boot, not in dual boot, I'm losing my mind, in DES, is that she has moves that track to both sides. She always has. There's no one way to step Alisa, and then she has the 1+2 anyway, so this is nothing new. I don't know, people are going to be freaking out about that when watching the trailer or whatever. Oh wow, that's homing now. No, it's always been like that. You can probably still sidewalk it left, but yeah, sidestep right. There's just some things that catch sidestep right, some that catch sidestep left. Yeah, so new heat engager here in DES. This is, I think, like 4-2 or something. It's her third fastest move in DES. It's tied with 1, I think. So it's a pretty good mid move, and it's not natural. I'm assuming it's natural on counter hit, but because it has that stagger, it means you could do the 1 hit or the 2 hit and then keep going, because it's going to make people guess on the 3rd hit, and then it's a heat engager and it gives you the heat dash and everything. It's a very good move. But it's a very interesting move as well. It's a super interesting move. It's like the reason why I had the title of the move list reaction and breakdown being I couldn't be happier is because all of these new moves that she's getting aren't just like, oh, here's a brain dead move that she has in DES or in dual boot or whatever that just removes all of the nuance. Instead, it adds more layers to the nuance while still buffing her. It gives her new tools where you have to think on how to use them. And they're not just an answer to all of the problems that she has, but it does help her. And I think that this move really exemplifies that, where, you know, yes, it's like a 3-hit heat engager string, but it's not like they just gave her, I don't know, 1+2 in DES as her heat engager. Instead, it's a move that you have to think a little bit more about and condition the opponent, because it's not natural, right? So it's a move where instead of, you could choose to do this as the heat engager instead of 1. The 1's -9. And a lot of the time, a problem with Alisa is that she does like forward 1, and then her options are limited because of the frame data on it. So you can choose to do the 1 to interrupt like dick jabs, and but that was it. And then if it gets blocked, you lose your turn because it's -9. Now she has something to make up a little bit for that, because it's the same frames, but it's a 3-hit string. So even if it gets blocked, now the opponent has to guess. You could get counter hit launched out of it, granted, if they guess correctly, but if you finish the string, then you get the heat engager, you get the chip damage when you are in heat, and it allows you to continue your offense if they block it. But if you have a hard read on the opponent, like doing a jab hitting a button or something, then you can do the 1. Or if you get a hard read on them ducking, you can still do the 1, and that's just going to be better a lot of the time, because you get the dual boot 1+2, and then they can roll out of it, which no one does. But even if they do, you still have the 3 that'll catch them rolling, and now with the new hell sweep, you can probably do that as well. So, like, what I'm trying to get at is that there are layers to this move, and it's not just a brain dead heat engager, and a lot of characters have been getting that, but it, like, there's thought that goes into it, there's nuance to it. It makes the character more interesting, and it increases the skill ceiling on the character a lot. And that's why I like Alisa so much, is that, you know, she has a low skill floor, but she has a skill ceiling like Yoshimitsu does. That's why I play her and Yoshimitsu. And I like that they're going more towards that instead of what the easier and safer route would be with a character like this that's a lot more of like a character that appeals to casuals, and going more the, oh, let's just give her some really easy tools to make it easy for her to go in the heat or whatever. No, they're making her more of the high skill ceiling casual character, which is great. I think it's absolutely the right way to go with her, and I'm really happy that they did, because it easily could have gone the other way. But, you know, this is why I play the character. This is why I love playing the character. This is why she's my main. I'm just really happy that they give her stuff like this. So anyway, I've talked long enough. Let's keep going with the trailer. This is they did do, no, that was forward 4 that they did. I don't remember. I don't think that you could actually do that follow-up in combos before, right? Maybe you could, and I just never did because it was pretty much useless, and it probably still is, but it depends on the scaling, right? But it's cool that you can do the capital punishment move to do that. I think that the capital punishment move is a wee bit faster. I don't remember that working on like Forgotten Realm in Tekken 7. Yeah, and then back 4 counter hit. And then there's the rage drop. And we'll watch it again. Yeah, that was fantastic. I said I wasn't going to talk your ear off. Oh wait, we gotta watch the outro. Come on, we have to watch the outro. Yeah, I said I wasn't going to talk your ear off. And I said just watch the other video, and I ended up talking for like 40 minutes. But how can I not? I love this character. And as I just said, I love that the direction they went with her. Like it's like I had titled as the other video. I couldn't be happier with what they did with Alisa. They went the route exactly how I wanted. I was a little bit worried, granted, because I thought they were going to song Mina her, and they didn't. They doubled down on her. They made her skill ceiling higher. They gave her a lot of interesting options. They didn't change her voice. Her design is incredible. Just, unbelievable what they did with her, and in a good way. I'm so happy. If I was to design Alisa in Tekken 8, I couldn't have done a better job. And there are a couple of characters where I think I could have, but Alisa I genuinely couldn't have. It's exactly everything that I wanted, and it's just fantastic. Lots of great decisions. I cannot wait to play her. We got less than 2 weeks now. I'm super excited. I can't wait for the game to come out, and now I'm going to have to work overtime to get this trailer edited and uploaded, because tomorrow we got probably Zafina and Lei at the same time, or one character and then a DLC character. I'm gonna have to edit 2 videos on one day tomorrow. Oh my god. And then I made this video 40 minutes long. Oh my god.